Let's begin. There's data that comes out in 15 minutes. And there's the disclaimer. The data is jobless claims. And also we have manufacturing index. That comes out this morning. Let's start off with crypto. Crypto, my line is right here at 65, 116. It can't break that for me. Otherwise, it's going to have more downside. But it could turn up from here. We'll see. It's below the 5 MA. There's nothing really bullish about this, to be honest. Nothing I would rush out to buy. I don't particularly like crypto. I wouldn't be a buyer here, but again, I wouldn't be a panic seller either. That's just in no man's land. These are all in no man's land where I wouldn't do anything with them. Here's my note on Ethereum. 1896 is the line for that. Let's look at Ripple. Again, that's going to be similar, right in this 134 range, 135. You don't want to break below. But until then, it's just blah. It's not bearish, it's not bullish, it's just blah. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. Let's take this off, see where we are. We're above the 5 MA. We are just hanging out above it. I expect us to move, make a decision once that news drops in 15 minutes, 14 minutes now. We're hanging out above support. Here's the trend line that I would like to break above. We did this morning, but that didn't have any momentum. It just moved the 50 up, which is, it's good. It's just building a structure here, hopefully. We're above support, and hopefully we pop out of here and head up towards this 25,300 range. The downside is going to be down here, 24,230, around there. And the VIX on the hourly looks bullish. Let's see what we look like on the daily. The daily looks bullish. The VIX, the market has a VIX problem. The VIX wants to spike. I don't know how else to say this. When and how, I don't know, but yeah, that thing wants to go. I don't know when, because the NASDAQ could, let's get these off again. See, you're below the 5 here on the monthly and turning over. You're rolling over here. The weekly, although you're starting to flatten out on the weekly, which is very interesting because you're on that lower Bollinger So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we've got 2 days. Let's see what the weekly does. And the daily is, this is no man's land again. This is Blah City. Again, I'm not in tech. The only tech I own is Tesla, and I own Tesla super cheap. So I'm not worried about these levels. But I just look at this as how willing buyers are. Okay, let's go to the Qs. Again, I could see us drop into this 601, 601.80. Maybe come down here and close this gap at 630, maybe. I tend to think if we stay bullish, we hold the 5 MA, which is at 602.70, right around there, 602.80. So I tend to think we hold that if we remain bullish. And then that would 606 would be where we need to break out from. And then once we did that, then the target would be 610. The low would be 593, 594, all the way down here. But I imagine that 600 would put up quite a resistance. So I would look for 600 to hold. If it starts breaking round numbers like 600, then that's a problem. Especially if it does it easily, then that's a big problem. All right, let's look at Cliff. I also heard Trump is going to speak today. I think after the market closes. I think this is more tariff related than war related. We're supposed to get tariff news from the Supreme Court this week also. And if they reject the tariffs, then the commodities are going to get hit really hard. So a lot of the stuff that I own is going to get wailed on. It might be good for the overall market, but commodities will get absolutely shredded. That will be short-lived. Again, that would be a buying opportunity for me, because then he's just going to, or his administration's just going to list them under critical minerals or strategic. They'll list them under national security or something. They'll do something. But yeah, if his tariffs get denied, then they're going to drop hard, and that would include Cliff. I mean, it'd be a nightmare. I mean, Cliff could drop 20-30%. And that goes for a lot of the mineral companies like USAR, UAME, all those companies. They would be subject to just selling off. Okay, Cliff. Again, you're below the 200, you're below the 50, you're below the 5. You have a doji. I don't like this chart on Cliff and how it's flattening out. I think this is going to drop again. I think this is just building buyers. I have 940 as my support here, but as I said, I think Cliff could come way down here. I don't want to see it close that gap, but it could. I mean, it could go to 570. I would like to see it hold, 940, but we'll see. Other than that, it'd be 740, 720. That's where I'd look for it. This isn't a real, I mean, that's not a real great bottom. We'll see. It could still be building, but that's not great looking. Qubits. Qubits had a little up day. You're still below the 5. You're below the 200. You're below the 50. You are above the support zone, but I don't necessarily like this support zone. We'll see how Qubits reacts out of here. Again, it could bounce up. It could bounce up to like 25 and then shoot down again. But I think it wants to go towards the bottom of this zone. I think it wants to drop in here, down in here. It may even go lower than that. It may even go down to $7. But I don't really like how this turned and this reaction. I don't really like this reaction. But again, it's above this support, so it's not. I'm not rushing out to short this, but I'm not rushing out to buy it either. I'm just watching it. I own it and I have calls sold on it. But 1836 would be near-term support. Again, I'm not looking for that to hold. I'm looking for this to go down into the $10 or $7. But if it holds this, and the way you'll know is you'll have a huge day like this, except you'll come off the bottom, and then you'll have a follow-through day. So you'll have two big days. Yeah, maybe we get that this week. We'll see. Let's go to my hypers. Let's go to SMR because this thing is wallowing in the mud. Again, this does not look bad to me. It does not look great, but it does not look bad. That's a whole lot of doji bottoms. Low volume. Not really low enough, is it? I don't know. I don't think the sellers are really exhausted yet, as wild as that sounds. Although they should be. I mean, they sold 180 million shares on Monday. Yeah, you had this little bullish divergence. Well, I buy this because it's under $20 and I'm a collector. So I've been buying it at this 14 range. Well, I've been buying it all the way down, but yeah, we'll see. This is another one where it could get another drop. Because it made this low. Because it broke this. So this could get another drop, and that would put it. Ooh, down in here, down in $8. Yeah, I mean this could get a drop down to $8. That's the reality. Or it could turn around here. Or it could do a combination of both. It could turn around, rip up, and then drop to $8. It's it sucks. There's always risk, especially a company like this that they report earnings soon, but they don't really have earnings. This is an idea. This is nuclear reactors for powering the future. This is something you have to have faith in. Now, on the other hand, this is something real with earnings. This is uh, beverage company, South American beverage company, and this is right in the sector that I like. It's South America, and it's a hard asset. It's a thing, and yeah, doing quite well. It's getting toppy, which is good. I sold most of my options, and I'm looking forward to buying these options back. Yeah, this was a great run for me. I'll have to look, man, see see if I remember. But I think I 6x or 8x these options. But yeah, this could sell down. I would look at support at 280. Maybe it goes all the way down to 257 and retest this. Boy, that would be a gift. But yeah, I've taken profit off this. I took it actually on this day where we shot out of the Bollinger. Oh man, I was so happy. Okay. Yeah, I look for a pullback on this. Um, maybe we pop up again. I don't know. But yeah, this is very toppy. This looks to reset down here, at least into the 293, 290 range, I would say. American Resources. This is going to be one that, depending on what the Supreme Court says, this is going to uh, ride or die. This is going to fly or it's going to get crushed. And if it gets crushed, I would look at 230 for support. And if not that, it would go all the way down here into the 75 cents range. I mean, it could get crushed like that. The daily, we're above the 5. We haven't flipped yet. So, I mean, this could turn and run. This could turn and run, then get crushed. I don't know. Maybe Trump comes out and says that he's going to put a floor on these before the Supreme Court makes their decision and these run. Then the Supreme Court makes their decision and these crash. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but these are all in. If you buy now, I would also buy something like VIX or uh, sell calls on this. I mean, you've got to have some sort of protection and know that if you sell calls and this does rip, your calls are probably going to get called away. Um, there's other ways you could buy a put if you choose, and that's if you choose to enter these, or if you have positions and you want to protect yourself. But the market is in a very strange place. No, news dropped already, and the market hasn't really reacted. It's still just hanging around that 5 MA. Yeah, we touched. Look at that. We went down and touched my line, and now we should be popping back up. This is what I wanted to see. This is constructive. Okay. Um, you do not even have bullish divergence here, so how constructive is it? Not that you have to have divergence, but you do have it from here, so you probably have it on a larger time frame. And this is going to be your drop. So no, but if this is just a correction in ABC, you shouldn't really have divergence except on the very small time frame, which you do. Okay, so again, if we just come up and then down again, this market just it it it's just in a coil. Like I said, it's just in this flat, and a flat is just a big coil. And look, this looks like it's wants to coil up. It looks like it really does. Boy, that would shock everyone because I think the majority of people are short this. Yeah, look at that put to call ratio. Everybody's buying puts. Wow, they're buying a lot of in the money puts. That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. But how this is coiling, uh, see, it just looks like something winding. Uh, like if you have a ball and you spin it around in a cup, eventually it's just going to shoot out of there. But which way it shoots out of this, that's the big money maker. Again, on the longer time frame, I believe we are up because I think we still have this move left. But they might whip us down and then up first. I don't know. I have no preference in that. Like I said, I have calls that expire in August. Okay. Let's take a look at retail because this still Under Armour, you're still crossing here. I mean, this is still pushing. That should still push a little higher before it gets a pullback. Abercrombie looks like it's turning up. Gap, I'm still waiting for this to break out. Still waiting. Look at that. This thing's going to hit 30 and I'm hoping fly. Under Armour still squeezing up. You just got this 50 to cross, so I expect it to push up. So I expect some good days. Let's see what happens here, but I expect some good days to push out of here. And then I expect it to drop and reset and drop probably back into the $6, $5. Okay, let's take one more stop in one more sector before we leave. And let's look at weed. This is actually like a beverage entertainment. Yeah, I don't know what you would even call this anymore, but it's in the weed sector because that's how they got their start, and that's what they do most of their business in, although they've branched into beverages. Looks like it's trying to cross over, but it has not yet. Weekly looks flat. As long as it holds this low, I mean, we're okay. I expect another pop out of here. Yeah, if it breaks 690, then it's got bigger issues. Then it'll probably come down at least into the 590 range and probably down into the 440 range. So yeah, just can't break 690, but above that should be okay. Now let's close out with a last look at the Qs. Again, this just looks like a just falling channel here. Let's move this a little bit up here. Let's move it over here. I like that better. Let's move this one. Right in there. Whoa. All right, nope. Let's do this again. Right in there. Let's see what that does. That's better. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna work with that as my channel. If we break out above that, then I'll probably buy this for a ride up to 606.50 range. But again, the market has a VIX problem, and we're right at the 5 MA, so we can't lose that. So watch 602.68 is where it's at now. But yeah, just watch this range right here, the 603, 602.50, right in there. Okay. Be safe. Be careful. Be wise. And as always, good luck.